Hare Krishna everyone, welcome back to the reading of Dialectic, Spiritualism, a Vedic View on Western Philosophy, presently published as Beyond Illusion and Doubt, by His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. And this is Shravanam Diaries podcast. I'm your host, Sulalita Devidasi, and we are continuing chapter number 7, entitled Kierkegaard. Disciple. For Kierkegaard, the love of God is the decisive factor, and from it stems love of our neighbor. He wrote, quote, "If you love God above all else, then you also love your neighbor, and in your neighbor every man. To help another man to love God is truly to love the other man. To be helped by another man to love God is truly to be loved." Unquote. Srila Prabhupada. This is the basis of our Krishna consciousness movement. We are learning how to love God, and we are teaching the same principle to the whole world. If love of God is taught by a religion, that religion should be considered first class, be it Christian, Hindu, Muslim, or whatever. The test of a religion is this: have the followers learned how to love God? God is the center of love, and since everything is God's expansion, the lover of God is a lover of everyone. A lover of God does not discriminate by thinking only man should be loved and given service. No, he is interested in all living entities, regardless of the forms in which they happen to be existing. A lover of God loves everyone, and his love reaches everyone. Oh, this is so beautiful. A lover of God loves everyone, and his love reaches everyone. Aww. When you water the root of a tree, you are nourishing all the parts of the tree: the trunk, branches, twigs, and leaves. When you give food to the stomach, you are satisfying the entire body. And when you love God, you love everyone and everything. Disciple. Soren Kierkegaard lamented the disintegration of Christianity as an effective form of worship, and considered modern Christendom to be a kind of sickness, a corruption of Christ's original message. Srila Prabhupada. Christianity is Christianity. You cannot call it modern or ancient, nor can you say God is modern or ancient. Either a person is a Christian or he is not. In other words, either he follows the orders of Christ or he doesn't. If he does not follow the tenets of his religion, how can he claim to belong to that religion? This is applicable to all religions. For instance, there are many so-called Hindus who do not believe in anything, yet they consider themselves Hindus and Brahmanas. This is insulting. Disciple. Concerning the purpose of prayer, Kierkegaard wrote in his journals, quote, "The true success in prayer is not when God hears what you pray for, but when the person praying continues to pray until he hears what God wills." Unquote. Srila Prabhupada. Yes, that is very nice. Through prayer, one becomes qualified to understand God, to talk with God, and to receive his directions. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita 10.10, Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mamu payantite. Quote, to those who are constantly devoted to me, serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. Unquote. Our ultimate goal is to give up this material world and go back home, back to Godhead. Prayer is just one form of service. There are 9 kinds of services, devotional services, that we can perform, as explained by Prahlada Maharaj in the Srimad Bhagavatam 7.5.23. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu, Smaranam Padasevanam, Archanam Vandanam Dasyam, Sakyam Atma Nivedanam. Quote, hearing about the transcendental name, form, qualities, paraphernalia, and pastimes of the Lord, chanting about these things, remembering them, serving the lotus feet of the Lord, offering the Lord respectful worship with incense, flower, water, and so on, offering prayers to the Lord, becoming his servant, considering the Lord one's best friend, and surrendering everything unto him. These 9 activities constitute pure devotional service. Unquote. Whether you perform all 9 processes, or some of them, or only one of them, you can progress in spiritual life. For example, when a Christian or a Muslim offers prayers, his service is as good as the Hindu's service to the deity in the temple. God is within, and when he sees that we are sincerely serving him, he takes charge and gives us directions by which we can swiftly approach him. Isn't this just beautiful, isn't it? There is guidance within and without. God is complete in himself. He is not hankering after our service, but if we offer him service, we can become purified. When we are completely purified, we can see God and talk with him. We can perceive, we can receive his instructions personally, just as Arjuna did in the Bhagavad Gita. Disciple. For Kierkegaard, faith in God develops when the soul is, in quotes, willing to stand transparent before God in his full integrity. Unquote. Srila Prabhupada. Standing transparent before God means engaging in God's service. But to engage in God's service, we must understand that we are his parts and parcels. Just as each part of the body engages in the service of the entire body, so every living entity is meant to engage in the service of God, Krishna. As soon as you engage in Krishna's service, you are self-realized. This is mukti, liberation from the miseries of material life. The fruitive workers, mental speculators, and yogis are trying to realize the self. But because they are not engaged in rendering service to the Supreme Self, Krishna, they are not liberated. We are therefore teaching Krishna consciousness for the ultimate realization of everyone. Disciple. But Kierkegaard sees self-realization arising out of the expression of the will. He thought that the more self-realized a person is, the more powerful is his will, and the better he is able to make proper decisions. Srila Prabhupada. But if you are a part and parcel of the whole, you have to take decisions from the whole. You cannot make your own decisions. The finger does not make decisions for the entire body. The only decision you have to make is the decision to serve Krishna. The orders come from him. Krishna ordered Arjuna to fight, and at the end of the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna decided to abide by Krishna's will. This is the only choice we have, either to abide by Krishna's will or to defy his will. After we decide to obey Krishna, Krishna or his representative makes all the other decisions. Disciple. Then what is the meaning of free will, full will? Srila Prabhupada. Full will means to surrender to Krishna fully, to obey the orders of the Supreme absolutely. Disciple. Concerning despair, Kierkegaard thought that despair can actually bear fruit, in that it can lead one to desire a genuine life of self-realization. In other words, despair can be a springboard to higher consciousness. Srila Prabhupada. In Sanskrit, this is called Nirasham Paramam Sukham. When one despairs, that is a great happiness. When a person despairs, it means that everything is finished. All responsibility is gone, and he is relieved. Out of despair, Arjuna was thinking of becoming a mendicant. When we despair of all happiness in material life, we may then turn to spiritual life. Sometimes Krishna smashes all of our material resources so that out of despair we may fully engage in his devotional service. In other words, when we want to become God conscious, but at the same time, out of strong attachment, we want material enjoyment, Krishna will sometimes wreck us materially. At such times, we often think that he is being unkind to us and we despair. We don't realize that this is Krishna's mercy, that he is removing all impediments so that we can fully and absolutely surrender. Once Indra, the Lord of Heaven, was forced to take on the body of a hog, and he had to come down to earth as that lowly animal. As a hog, Indra had a hog wife, hog children, and so on. After some time, Lord Brahma came down and told him, "My dear Indra, you were once Lord of Heaven. You once possessed great opulence. Now that you are a hog, you have forgotten your previous exalted position. Please leave this filthy life and come with me." Yet, despite Brahma's pleadings, Indra was not convinced. He said, "Why should I go with you? I am very happy. I have my wife, children, and home." Seeing that Indra had become very much attached to his hog life, hog existence, Brahma began to kill all his hog children. Finally, Brahma killed Indra's hog wife. When Indra saw that his wife was killed, he despaired. "Oh, you have killed my whole family!" Only then did Indra agree to go back to the heavenly kingdom with Lord Brahma. Similarly, Krishna sometimes creates a situation in which the living entity will despair, and out of despair turn to him and fully surrender to him. Disciple. So faith grows out of despair. Srila Prabhupada. Yes, to strengthen our faith in God, we have to give up all hope of happiness in this material life. We have to despair of material happiness. Disciple. Concerning individuality, Kierkegaard wrote, quote, "God is the origin and wellspring of all individuality. This individuality is the gift of God, through which He permits me to be and through which He permits everyone to be." Unquote. Srila Prabhupada. This idea is explained in the Katha Upanishad, and we will continue this tomorrow. So thank you so much for tuning in today. The link to this book is in the description. Please check out our website shravanamdiaries.com. Read this book along with us, share it with your friends, and we shall see you tomorrow. Hare Krishna.